Welcome wanderers to the dark silent. In the shadows of our world, there are stories that whisper of moments when the priceless is stolen, when history is ripped from its frame, and a silent void is left in its place. We are not just talking about theft of property, but the theft of a soul, of a piece of our collective human story. Tonight, we descend into the heart of Boston, into a palace of art frozen in time, to recount the tale of a night when darkness fell and 81 minutes of chaos created a wound that has refused to heal for over 3 decades. This is the story of the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum and the greatest art heist in modern history. The night was March 18, 1990. Boston was alive, a sea of green and revelry as St. Patrick's Day celebrations wound down. But inside the Venetian-style palazzo that is the Gardner Museum, a deep quiet had settled. The museum, a testament to the will of its eccentric and brilliant creator, Isabella Stewart Gardner, was a world unto itself. Her last testament dictated that nothing in her collection should ever be permanently altered. The paintings, the furniture, the very arrangement of the flowers were to remain as she left them, a perfect, unchanging monument to beauty. On that fateful night, 2 young security guards were tasked with protecting this sanctuary. One, a 23-year-old named Rick Abath, sat at the security desk watching the monitors. Just after 1 a.m., a buzz echoed from the side entrance on Palace Road. On the monitor, Abath saw 2 men in what appeared to be police uniforms. They claimed they were responding to a report of a disturbance. It was an unusual call, but in the festive chaos of the city, not an impossible one. Abath, breaking protocol, buzzed them in. The 2 men walked in, the cold night air following them. This single, fateful decision was the key that unlocked the tomb. The moment the false officers stepped inside, the atmosphere shifted. The air grew heavy. They approached the security desk and asked Abath to step out from behind it, telling him he looked familiar and that there might be a warrant out for his arrest. It was a simple, disarming lie. As Abath complied, moving away from the desk and its single, vital panic button, the trap was sprung. In a swift, professional motion, he was pinned against a wall and handcuffed. One of the men calmly stated, "Gentlemen, this is a robbery." The other guard on his rounds was summoned back to the desk and just as quickly subdued. The thieves were in complete control. They demanded to know where the tape was for the security cameras, and they methodically smashed the videotapes, erasing their own entry from history. The 2 guards, their eyes covered with duct tape and their hands and feet bound, were then led down into the pitch-black basement of the museum. They were secured to pipes in separate, distant corners, helpless and isolated. Up above them, the silent palace was now the thieves' private gallery, their playground for the next 81 minutes. The thieves were not art connoisseurs, they were butchers. Their movements were a strange mix of purpose and confusion. They went directly to the Dutch room, a chamber housing some of the museum's most precious jewels. They ignored motion detectors, which blared uselessly to a now empty security desk. They walked past a priceless Titian and set their sights on Rembrandt's masterpiece, The Storm on the Sea of Galilee, his only known seascape. There was no finesse, no careful removal. They smashed the painting's protective glass and with a brutal carelessness used a blade to violently slice the magnificent canvas from its stretcher. They did the same to another Rembrandt, A Lady and Gentleman in Black. The sound of tearing canvas must have echoed like a scream in the hallowed hall. Nearby, they targeted the crown jewel of the collection, Johannes Vermeer's The Concert. One of only 34 known Vermeers in the world, it was incalculably valuable. It too was wrestled from its place on the wall. They continued their rampage, snatching a small self-portrait etching by Rembrandt, no bigger than a postage stamp, from the side of a larger frame. Their path through the museum was baffling. They went to the short gallery on the floor below and stole Govaert Flink's landscape with an obelisk. They also took a bizarre and seemingly random object, an ancient Chinese bronze beaker, a gu from the Shang dynasty. Their final major prize was from the Blue Room, Edouard Manet's Chez Tortoni. But their choices were what made the heist so unnerving. They tried to unscrew the frame holding a Napoleonic flag, but when they failed, they settled for just tearing off the golden eagle finial that sat atop it. They spent a full 81 minutes inside, a lifetime for a heist. Yet they left behind works far more valuable than some they took. They triggered alarms, they left footprints, they were clumsy, yet they were utterly successful. Twice they went down to the basement to check on the guards, calmly asking them if they were comfortable. Before they left, one of the thieves offered a final, chilling promise. "You'll hear from us in about a year." Then they loaded their treasures, worth an estimated $200 million at the time, into a vehicle and vanished into the pre-dawn Boston streets. Silence returned to the Gardner, but it was a new, horrifying kind of silence. The sun rose on March 19th, and the morning shift of museum staff arrived to find a scene of desecration. The side door was ajar. The security desk was empty. Then came the chilling discovery in the galleries. Not just empty spaces on the walls, but gaping, violated frames hanging askew, some with jagged strips of canvas still clinging to their edges like wounds. The police were called, then the FBI. The guards were found, cold and shaken but unharmed, in the basement. The scale of the loss was staggering, quickly becoming the single largest property theft in history, with a value today estimated at well over $500 million. The investigation exploded, becoming a labyrinth of theories and dead ends. Suspicion immediately fell upon the Boston mob, with shadowy figures like Carmelo Merlino and Robert Gentile coming under scrutiny. Whispers of IRA connections and international crime syndicates filled the air. But every lead turned cold. Every person of interest died, took their secrets to the grave, or revealed nothing. The most dramatic act, however, came from the museum itself. Bound by Isabella Stewart Gardner's ironclad will, forbidding any permanent change to her collection, the museum's director made a haunting decision. They would not replace the stolen masterpieces. Instead, the empty, gilded frames were hung back in their original spots on the gallery walls. They hang there to this day. They are not placeholders. They are tombstones. They are ghostly voids that scream of the loss, a constant, silent vigil for the return of the stolen art. Walking through the Dutch Room today is a profoundly unsettling experience. You don't just see what is there, you are forced to confront what is not. The empty frames have become a powerful, permanent part of the tragedy, a memorial to the art that vanished into the dark. More than 3 decades have passed since that night. The 81 minutes of terror have stretched into a lifetime of mystery. The FBI has chased ghosts across continents. A $10 million reward remains unclaimed, and the 13 stolen works have never been seen again. They are the most wanted stolen objects in the world. Did a reclusive billionaire buy them for a secret collection? Were they destroyed in a panic when the crime became too infamous? Or are they sitting somewhere in the dark, in an attic or a warehouse waiting? The thieves promised they would be in touch in a year, but that year has never come. The silence has been absolute. The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist is more than a crime story. It's a ghost story. It's a chilling reminder that beauty is fragile and that a few moments of darkness can create an absence that lasts forever. The empty frames remain on the walls, asking a question that has no answer, preserving a crime that has no resolution, embodying the very essence of the dark silent. The mystery of the Gardner heist remains unsolved, a puzzle with 13 missing pieces. What do you think happened to the art? Was it a professional job gone wrong, or a meticulously planned theft for a specific buyer? Share your theories and thoughts in the comments below. We read every one of them. If you found this dive into one of history's most haunting mysteries compelling, be sure to like this video and subscribe to The Dark Silent. Don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss our next journey into the shadows. Until next time, stay curious.